Welcome to Scene Invaders. You got Dan and Xander here. And today we're going to talk Foundation Season 3, Episode 5, Where Tyrants Spend Eternity.
God damn, man.
Another good
What
one.
a line.
Yeah.
Let me just say, the
Go ahead.
title of this episode, when he said the line in the show,
And I pray I see you again, wherever we tyrants spend eternity.
I was like, God damn, dude. The writers of this show are so good, man. Oh.
Yeah, dude. Another great episode. This season has proven to be very good. I can't wait to see what happens at the end with the Mule and everything, because we've guessed that the Mule's only going to be in this season, that it'll all end, right? That conflict is pretty much going to be over by the end of this season. So we'll see where it ends up. He had a play this episode that we're going to talk about. But my question for you is, Gaal using Brother Dawn. Did you see that coming?
No. They actually caught me. That's the reason I love this show, is it always catches me off guard in different ways.
Yeah.
Like they always seem to, and it's not in ways where I'm like, wow, this doesn't seem like Gaal at all. Like it's cool to see she's still growing as a character, even though she's literally been frozen in time. And it was cool to see her kind of slowly turning into Harry in that moment. I'm like, oh, this is cool to see her finally being like, lives don't matter, the math is what matters. I'm like, that's all right, we're in it.
Yeah, she was following the plan, really. I mean, we'll talk about it when we get to it, but I just wanted to see if you saw that coming, because I did not. I believed her the entire time that they were truly working together. I didn't know that she was using him for a purpose of her own. And then when he confronted her about it, he was pissed, but he was still going to go to her ship, but then shit goes down. So we'll get into it. But let's kick it off with Brother Day. So obviously he did what he did last episode, and he betrayed his friend, well, killed his friend, and now he's going to Mycogen. He's there, and he's disguised as a clavager, and he's there to find Song, but you think she might be dead, right?
I think she might be dead, yeah.
Okay, so this all might be for nothing. Yeah.
I was kind of sad that this was all we got for the Day storyline in this episode, because I'm really interested in that.
I thought he got caught and got shot a bunch of times, but it turned out to be a decoy. It's just this older man who was paid to wear his armor, and we see him like looking in the shadows. He's like peeking out, and so he slips away unnoticed, and then we see Demerzel discover the body of Maven, his buddy that he killed, and finds nanites in his arm. So this confirms Day's betrayal. So for now, they were like, should we get on this? And she's like, no, we're going to let him go. I got to focus on Dawn because I know where he's going. So that's what she is up to. Why would she let Day go right now? She's not worried about it?
I don't know, but there's something going on. The way she's like, he's not going to be a problem to us. We're not going to see him again. She might know that he's going to die, maybe. Like maybe she's like worked it out in her mind. She's like, he's going this way. I know exactly what's at the end of that path. I'm going to just let him handle himself.
Okay.
Or it has something to do with her trying to set up her own escape or like reprogramming, because it kind of feels like in that moment she found like a hole in her coding to be like, I can let this Cleon go in some way because it doesn't conflict with my programming, but I know that he's going out to like find some people that are going to end up changing my programming. That's the vibe I'm getting from her reaction to it.
Yeah.
But man, again, the depth of that character, I just love her so much, man.
Yeah,
every
great.
scene she's in is chef's kiss.
I want to say to new viewers here, this is my last day on vacation, so I'll be back in my normal setup. The next time you see me, I know it's a little shanty right now, but I'm working with what I got. So, all right, Gaal and Dawn's risky plan. So obviously this was fucking Dawn over essentially, but we didn't know that at the time. So they're on a mission to weaken the Mule by pushing an enclosure on Calgan. They were going to starve his resources, surround the planet with Imperial ships. So they're headed to the Clarion Station where the Galactic Council is to make it happen. And Dawn's still trying to like see if he can even trust Gaal because of her mentalic powers. He's like, did you trick me into coming on this mission with you? And she kind of said she didn't mean to do it, but she kind of did do it. So he probably could have sensed that she was fucking him over right then and there, but he still went through with what she was telling him to do. So I don't know. What'd you think about that?
The way she says it when she's like, I don't know if I did or not. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Even
Yeah.
I was like, all right, like, she's still getting used to reading minds, which might take some practice.
Yeah. All right. So then this poor guy, Tarisk, so they resort to blackmailing him. So Dawn sneaks into his quarters and plants fabricated evidence, and Tarisk catches him. But Dawn tries to reason with him about how dangerous the mule is. And he's just like, listen, dude, my wife's there. My kids are there. Meanwhile, he's got a side piece hiding in his closet. So, I mean, whatever. People make mistakes. And then, of course, that woman gets killed because she heard the conversation. So Dawn had to kill her. And he's like, yo, take care of this, clean this up. So I knew she was dead once they showed her on screen. It's like
think that
she had
comes
no
back into
chance.
play later
You
because it's
think?
the same mentality that Gail is using on him right now, right? So
Yeah.
like I think at some point she'll bring up that duality of like, hey, like you knew that that woman had to die for this plan to go off and for us to stop the mule. I'm just doing the same thing on a bigger scale and kind of with you being the girl in the closet.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it works. Tarek says, oh, well, I can just tell him you're blackmailing me. He's like, you're not going to do that. You're not going to hurt me. You're going to do what I fucking tell you to do, bitch. So that basically happens. And it works. And the council votes for the enclosure.
Dude,
But, go ahead.
this Dawn is my favorite Dawn.
I know. And I'm
Like
worried about
I
him.
it's partly the actor, I think, coming into his own because he hadn't done a lot before the first season of this show. But like,
Yeah.
man, he's almost carrying this season.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He's so good. And the way they're writing him is like Machiavellian, like pushing for the middle throne when every other day we've seen is always like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm ready. And he's like, no, get me on the. Yeah, oh, it's such a
Yeah.
good change, man.
Yeah. But I'm worried about him because what happens at the end, we'll talk about it.
A little
I
bit.
don't know. We'll see what happens with him. But then once they think they've outsmarted the mule, he flips the script. He has a video call being like, I'm not even on Calgon, bitches. Like you guys can enclose it all you want. I'm not there. And then he had his men plant a cobalt spike at the jump gate, which triggered a solar flare, which shot a beam into the sun, which causes Calgon to basically explode and kill everyone on the planet. And it kills all the ships too, right? Because they were right there.
Yep.
So yeah, he just killed everyone. And
Their whole fleet is gone.
whole fleet is gone, which weakens Empire. And Gaal wanted this to happen because of Harry's plans. So I don't know, man. I'm a little upset with Gaal, but not really because she's doing what she believes she has to do because of Harry, right?
You know what's funny? It's almost the same arc as Daenerys in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But for Gail, it feels like it's unfolding in a very nice way. Where like for a lot of the beginning of this show, she's the protagonist and you're like kind of always on her side. And I like that this season, like you always kind of like the Cleons, but you don't want them to succeed. And this is the first time they've kind of flipped that on its head where you're like, if the Cleons succeed, like I guess millions of people don't die by starvation, which is like probably a good thing. But then like you still want Gail to win because like long term, it man, like it's really it's cool to see Gail kind of slowly like disregarding people. I think when she lost Salvor, I think that was kind of akin to like Harry losing his wife and the baby, where she lost any connection to the people in the world, and she's traveled so many decades that like I guess we see it earlier in the season too, right? Like when she's making out with the babely black dude and she's like, no, I can't be serious, and he's like, come on, be serious. She's like, no, I ain't about it. I think it's all like showing how disconnected she is from humanity and like the cost of what is actually going to be paid for this plan to go through. And man, this Gail is good too. It's subtle changes to everyone, and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, this is when Dawn finds out that she knew it would fail, and she tells him, look, it needed to happen. So he gets pissed. He tosses his earpiece. When he puts on his spacesuit, Tara shows up, and he's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, you just killed my entire family. And he's pointing a gun at him. And I'm thinking that Dawn's going to get shot right here, but he misses the shot and he blows open he blows the airlock open, and then Taris gets shot out into space and dies immediately. And then Dawn is holding on, but then he goes out into space, but he's got a spacesuit on. So that leaves kind of a cliffhanger. Is he okay? Is he not okay? Probably he's going to be okay somehow. I don't know how, but I don't see him dying in that scene. What about you?
No, you don't see a body. He's not dead.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm assuming he might end up back with Gail, because that ship's pretty close. She says, like, when she hears the airlock's been open, she's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Dawn," which means
Yeah.
he could make it from the air, like that airlock to her ship. So I'm
Yeah, I
assuming
mean-
they'll meet back up.
So let's talk about it now. So yeah, that happens, and it's not Dawn; it is Demerzel. So Demerzel, yeah, she steps inside, and so here's the question: did she track Gaal to join forces against the Mule, or is she trying to crush the rebellion? Why is her focus so much on what Dawn was doing, not caring about what Day was doing? And it's a big, massive cliffhanger, and we don't know what she's going to say to Gaal when the next episode starts. So it's just why did she show up then and there? Is Dawn going to be safe and find them also? That's something that you got to wonder, you know?
Yeah, I think I'm voting on Dawn's going to be safe, and I'm voting on Demerzel has a very large overarching plan for this season, and I think we've got all the pieces so far, but I can't quite put it together. You know what she's after? It's something to do with freedom, but I don't know how she's pulling it off. I'm interested to see, though, if Gale's powers are going to work on Demerzel. Like, could Demerzel hear Gaal in her head, or does she, like, because she doesn't have a brain technically, like, does it not work? I don't, it'll be interesting to see.
I would assume that it would be very difficult to do it to Demerzel. That's what I would.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
man, in the line too, like, it's been 300 years. You look pretty good.
Yeah, you look good. Yeah.
She's like, what's your secret?
Yeah, what's going on here? Yeah.
I guess it's probably one of the only people in recent memory for Demerzel that she's seen over millennia, which must be just weird as hell because she watches everyone die and there's this one girl that's left just like,
what the hell?
Yeah.
All right, let's circle back a little bit to Torin, Beta, and Magnifico. I'm telling you, Magnifico has a huge role to play in this season. He wouldn't be here if he didn't. There's something up with him, the way he plays music. Something's going to happen. So they crash land. They get shot out of the sky, and they're like trying to talk to people, and they can't get through. So the ship's really damaged, and Randu finds them. So this brings up old family tensions. And Torin shares his backstory, saying after his crash killed his parents and Randu's son, Randu adopted him, but never hid his resentment, and he left his arm chopped off and everything, and he thinks that's part of that. Beta, meanwhile, pitches Magnifico's value to Randu, suggesting that his music does amplify the Mule's powers, which is probably true, which most likely true. And he could be a key asset for New Terminus in their fight against the Mule. But is Magnifico like a sleeper agent and the Mule wanted him to get captured? That's the question on my mind. I don't know.
That's
what do you think?
An interesting thought. I think it's going to have something to do with the music. Like the Mule couldn't mess with his brain too much because he needs him to be able to play music in a specific way.
Yeah.
So I think he might be safe. But also, I'm pretty sure they just straight confirmed it in this episode that his music is affects people when he's sitting upstairs with Torin. He's like, your sister's down there trying to convince him right now. I'm gonna play a little tune to help her out. And then you go down to her and she's like, "Can you hear the music?" Like it kind of can make you feel like different ways. Hey, and that's I wonder if he's maybe a mentalic, but he works through music or something.
Probably that's a good theory. I like that one. Yeah. I mean, I just like this storyline with these three in this episode because I don't know why. When I see their scenes, I get extra locked into viewing. I'm just super interested. Like the way they were shown earlier is that they were just this couple that just got married and they're partying, and that's he's blocking our son. That's like, fuck this. And now all of a sudden they're caught in the middle of everything and they're trying to help. So I think their storyline, especially with Magnifico, is going to be very important for the finale. I think that's why they showed them so much this episode. I think they're really going to matter in the end, and probably one or two or all of them will get killed. I don't see them all making it out alive. Yeah.
No, I could see. I mean, no one really makes it out alive in this show every season.
Yeah.
That everyone dies. I just want to say how cool it is to take the concept of wormholes and shoot a solar flare through a wormhole to blow up a planet. That's like probably the coolest thing I've seen in sci-fi ever, man.
Yeah, that's really dope.
That was wild to see. And like it took me a second to be like, wait, what just happened? And then I realized it and I was like, God damn, man. You shot a fucking solar flare through a wormhole to blow up, man. This show's so cool.
I didn't see that coming one bit, man. Like
Nope.
he was 2 steps ahead, 20 steps ahead. You know, he's already off the planet. He blows the planet up, and he's, you know, who knows where he's at now. So that's the thing. Like, they got to find him. I think that's why I think Magnifico could be a sleeper agent. Like, he let him go, he like kind of lets him go, not really, and then he leaves Calgon right after that, and then blows it up. So there's something about that guy. He's going to be a key piece in my opinion. All right, that's it for episode 5. Make sure to join us for episode 6 next week. Subscribe if you like this, give us a like, and thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Later.
Peace.
And I pray I see you again,